Hello everyone, welcome back to Exalted Mercury. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the up and coming transit of the planet Jupiter into the sign of Aries on the 22nd of April for all moon and rising signs. Jupiter spends approximately 1 year in each house during its 12-year cycle. The house that Jupiter transits indicates the area of your life which you are trying to grow, and the sign Jupiter transits will show the means by which you are doing this. When Jupiter enters a house, it brings hope, enthusiasm, opportunities, and new prospects. Jupiter is traditionally known as the Great Benefic, and usually it does give pleasant and very often beneficial results. Life tends to flow more easily during a Jupiter transit. Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion. The effect of Jupiter's energy on your life can range from making you gain weight, increasing material possessions, to enlarging your mind and consciousness. So some of the things Jupiter can represent are religion, higher education, law, and children. So Aries is a fiery movable sign which represents courage and enterprise. It is a sign of freedom and is the entrepreneur of the zodiac. Aries is impetuous and does not waste time overthinking. Aries is a sign driven by a desire to prove its strength. It is a high energy sign and is competitive and very ambitious. It is a sign of taking charge and initiating new projects. So when Jupiter transits Aries, it increases our courage and enterprising nature. The transit can encourage us to embrace the inner pioneer in ourselves, believe in ourselves, and make our own opportunities. Jupiter in a fiery sign like Aries means that we strongly identify with our opinions and beliefs, and we can take it quite personally if others disagree with us. So with this transit of Jupiter in Aries, it will require us to create our own opportunities and will encourage us to be more confident, bold, and outgoing. The house which Jupiter transits will either create improvements or new beginnings, because Aries is the sign of starting something new. Jupiter represents luck, so we can create the most good fortune when we take the lead, initiate, inspire, and demonstrate enthusiasm and courage. Now the caveat about this transit is that up until the 30th of October, Jupiter will be conjunct Rahu for about 6 months. Jupiter conjunct Rahu is known as Guru Jandal Yog in Vedic astrology. Here, the planet of righteousness, Jupiter, meets the inner demon and unconventional energy of the outcast Rahu. Rahu is a shadow planet and is physically non-existent, yet its influence is full of potency. Rahu tends to work on a psychological level, impacting the mental activities of people. Rahu can cause confusion, mental troubles, and sometimes illusions and hallucinations. But on the other hand, Rahu can also be very smart, logical, and very advanced. Rahu is a very selfish, egotistic energy with its tyranny of me, myself, and I. So when Guru Jandal Yoga is formed, it means that Rahu will use the Jupiterian qualities of kindness and expansiveness and divert them into illusions and manifest what it desires in a physical form. This Guru Jandal Yoga will especially be powerful between the months of April to July, because Rahu and Jupiter will be moving towards each other, creating a very powerful and intense conjunction. Some of you may have already started to experience the effects of Guru Jandal Yoga even before the 22nd of April. After July, the power of Guru Jandal Yoga will reduce, and by October, Jupiter will be back to its true form. At the same time, Saturn will be aspecting Jupiter and Rahu, and so we can hope that there will be some boundaries imposed. However, Rahu is an energy that does not respect boundaries and is able to find a way around them, especially in a fiery sign of Aries. So what are some of the things that can happen? Well, since Rahu works on the psychological level, whichever house Guru Jandal Yoga is formed, it will cause some confusion for everyone and can cause people to make the wrong decision, in particular between the months of April to July. Depending on your overall natal chart and dasha, the effect of Guru Jandal Yoga can be minor, subtle or major, so everyone has to take care during this period. Jupiter rules over law and social order, so conjunct with Rahu can represent breaking the law or taking shortcuts, because Rahu often acts with compulsion of one kind or another in order to get ahead and get what it wants. So during this period there can be an increase in criminal activity and deceptive conduct. Jupiter controls the finance and the banking system, stock market, so conjunct with Rahu can cause huge volatility in global financial markets. Something will suddenly happen which will hit the economy and cause temporary destabilization. Guru Jandal Yoga can also affect the banking system, and we've already seen a couple of banks in the US collapse recently. Additionally, this transit is happening in Aries, which rules automobiles, machinery, metals, pharmaceuticals, iron and steel, copper and crude oil. All of these things will be negatively influenced by Rahu. So let's look at some of the world events that happened during the previous Jupiter and Rahu conjunctions. Guru Jandal Yoga can happen every 7 or 8 years. So the last Jupiter Rahu conjunction was in 2016 for 7 months between January to August. And this was in the sign of Leo, which represents government. During this Guru Jandal Yoga, we saw unexpected results in elections, with Trump being elected despite many allegations, and also with the United Kingdom voting to leave the European Union in a move nicknamed Brexit, where there was false information provided to encourage the people to vote leave. Brexit then caused a major stock market crash on the 24th of June 2016, where worldwide stocks lost more than $2 trillion that followed the Brexit vote. Guru Jandal Yoga was formed in the sign of Capricorn in 2008, where we saw the global financial crisis caused by poor banking practices and deregulation of the financial industry. Guru Jandal Yoga in 2001 in the sign of Gemini, which is an air sign, we saw the 9/11 attacks, which saw the stock market crash after this event. So now I'll talk through the Jupiter transit and Guru Jandal Yoga for each rising and moon sign. For Aries natives, Jupiter rules your 9th house and 12th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your first house. The first house is where Jupiter feels very comfortable. It has strong directional strength and therefore can bring very positive vibes and noticeable improvements to your environment, making a person's life easier and more enjoyable. When Jupiter comes into this house, you will feel very optimistic with good physical energy and self-confidence, enabling you to project your personality more dynamically out into the world. Jupiter will help you open up new windows of possibilities and opportunities in relation to travel, work, and education. Jupiter will bring new beginnings into your life. Since Rahu has been in this house, the last 12 months have made you really focus on your self-identity and being independent by doing things your own way without any assistance from others. Rahu will explode your self-identity or personal power that you have developed the past 12 months through the windows of opportunities that Jupiter brings. You will feel very fearless, but also a little bit confused in deciding which way to go, which opportunity to take. So you have to be careful of your decision making, especially between the months of April and October. If you are not going through a good dasha and your Mercury is weak, the Guru Chandal Yog in the first house means that you need to be careful of your decision making. Jupiter will bring new opportunities in the first house. So Rahu being an independent decision maker, you have to make sure you go after the opportunities which are going to be more worthwhile in the longer run, rather than something which can just give you rapid achievement in the short term. You also have to be careful not to get enticed towards immoral and unethical activities and avoid taking any shortcuts in any activity that you do. Since the first house is a Kendra house, it's very important you watch out for your actions, behavior, and moral character, because Guru Chandal Yog in the first house can make you more aggressive, more self-centered, so it's important to make time for other people and try not to hurt other people's feelings. If you want to pursue higher education and become a student, Jupiter ruling the 9th house can bring this opportunity for you. You can also travel abroad for higher education. If you are going through a good dasha and your natal chart is positive for higher learning, then Guru Chandal Yog can really explode your knowledge beyond any limits and can help you do really well. However, if your natal chart has malefic influences in relation to higher learning, then Guru Chandal Yog can disrupt your studies at least for a few months. If you are at a stage where you need to select a course, you have to take a bit of care in deciding, because Guru Chandal Yog can make you select the wrong course, where you can end up studying it for a few months but then decide that it's not actually what you want to do. So you have to be careful with what you select. In relation to money and resources, Jupiter is the Karka of the second house, which rules wealth, and Rahu is a materialistic planet. Their transit together with Saturn in the 11th house will ensure that there is a good flow of income for you. However, you will also overindulge on spending on yourself. Jupiter is also ruling your 12th house, and transiting the first house in conjunction with Rahu can lead to wasteful expenditure. So you have to be watchful of your spending habits during the whole of this transit, as the period shows this could be a phase where saving money is a little bit difficult. In terms of romance and relationships, if you are single, you can come across a person, since Jupiter is aspecting your 5th house and 7th house. The person you meet, not only will you be able to have fun with that person, they will also have the potential to be a life partner. If you are already in a relationship, then this is a great time to get married or engaged. However, since Ketu is currently in your 7th house, it is better to wait until after October to tie the knot. If you are already married, then this will be a period where you'll be able to be more romantic and enjoy your married life. Jupiter's 5th aspect on the 5th house means the desire for growth and expansion influences your creativity and self-expression. If you are working in any creative fields, then this will be a period where you can be filled with wonderful ideas to expand your work. This is also a great time to have kids, or your relationship with your children will be excellent during this period. In terms of health, Guru Jandal Yoga in the first house can give stomach issues. So you have to be careful with the food you consume, and you will have to keep a check on your blood pressure if you are at a senior age. You also have to be careful not to get into any accidents, because Aries is a powerhouse of scattered energy. So if you have had accidents in the past and you are going through the dasha of the 6th, 8th or 12th house, then you have to be very careful, especially since Saturn is also aspecting the first house, and Saturn will try and slow you down. If your life is in 5th gear, Saturn will slow you down and take you back to 2nd. So overall, this is an excellent period after July, but you have to maintain good conduct, good character between April to June, and you have to try and let other people into your life so that you can gather all the information to help you take the right opportunities for your growth. For Taurus natives, Jupiter is ruling your 8th house and 11th house, and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 12th house. So I'll talk a little bit about the 12th house before moving on to the practical results. The 12th house is a very beautiful house as it encompasses the accumulation of your experiences. It is a composite of all the other houses. It contains everything and nothing at the same time. It is a house where the personality dissolves into something larger. The 12th house represents letting go and healing, and when planets transit this house, you are encouraged to let go of anything which is keeping you from understanding that we are all connected, and you will come to terms with any unfortunate events that have happened in the past, accepting them and moving on. Jupiter's transit is very beneficial in the 12th house, although the benefits won't be as obvious. It is a period of inner growth, and expansion of the mind is the emphasis. Your intuition becomes very strong, and you will go through events where you will willingly or unwillingly clearing away or letting go of obstacles and blocks to help you heal and fulfill the purpose of your life, and to prepare you for the events of the first house transit. Jupiter's transit in the 12th house means you will prefer to be more reclusive during this year. You will enjoy your own time to reflect on the past 12 years. So let's look at some of the possible practical results. If your natal chart supports foreign travel or settlement and you are going through a good dasha, Guru Jandal Yoga through the 12th house will create opportunities for you to travel or move abroad. This can produce long distance travel for study purposes, as Jupiter is the significator of the 9th house, or temporary permanent settlement, because Jupiter is also aspecting your 4th house, which means that there will be some events which create peace and happiness in your mind. If you are not going through a good dasha, or your natal chart has some affliction in terms of going abroad, then what can happen is you can go abroad or travel somewhere, but for whatever reason you will end up returning or coming back within a short time before maybe trying to go again at a later date. In terms of finance, Jupiter is the Garga of the 2nd and 11th house. And for Taurus natives, it also rules the 11th house, while Rahu is a materialistic planet. So this will be a period where you will have to let go of money. So what that means is something can happen where you are suddenly forced to spend money. So your expenses can be quite high. If you have planets in the 12th house in your natal chart, you can also be this period can also show you to be very generous in terms of giving money to charity or worthy causes during this transit. Guru Chandal Yog in the 12th house can give you hospital or medical related expenses. Jupiter is ruling and aspecting the 8th house, which is the house of surgeries, which means that you could have a procedure done in relation to stomach or feet or ankles. Jupiter's energy will help heal you if you are suffering from any conditions or illnesses. 8th Lord in the 12th house is a Vipreet Raj Yog, which means that any chronic illnesses or fears or mental troubles you have been having at any time during the past 12 years, you will be able to either accept them and move on with your life, or you'll be able to get a cure from them. 8th house Lord in the 12th house is a beautiful healing combination. Now, in relation to any surgeries that you may have during this period, because of Rahu's influence, it means that you may have to have a couple of surgeries to cure any issues. So if you have an option to select dates for surgeries, it's best to avoid having any surgeries between April and July. Guru Chandal Yog in the 12th house can cause disturbances in your sleep. Since this is happening in the sign of Aries, you can become very restless and can have some strange dreams. Guru Chandal Yog can give you educational or study related expenses. So if you are not going abroad to study and you are working, you might decide to pursue a short course, so you can incur expenses related to this. If you are already a student and you are going through the dasha of a malefic planet, then Guru Chandal Yog can cause some disruption in your higher education. This could be a period where you need to take some time out, or if there is a major affliction in your chart, this can be a period where you can withdraw from your studies for whatever reason. If you are going through a good dasha and foreign profit is indicated in your natal chart, then this is a period where you can get money outside of your present location. So for example, if you are in India and you have some kind of business within the US, or you're involved with any import-export of any goods and services, then you can get very healthy profits during this period. If volunteer work is something that interests you, then this Jupiter transit is the perfect time to engage in this type of work. Here you are letting go or giving your energy and expanding your generous, compassionate nature to help serve humanity. Rahu's energy here can mean you could travel to a foreign country to volunteer. Jupiter is ruling your 11th house and transiting the 12th house, which represents letting go. So this can be a period where your network circle is affected. Guru Chandal Yog can create a foreign network circle for you, where you could make friends from other countries. However, in your present location, you may have to let go of some connection. Either friends will move away or get married and start their family, and you may not see as much of them. 11th Lord in the 12th house means your income can also get affected. So if you are self-employed, this could be more of a quiet period for you. Saturn is also in the 10th house, which means there are some delays in achieving your career ambitions. So overall, for Taurus natives, this is a very positive period for inner growth and healing. So try to make the most of it. This is a great time to cure any health issues or letting go of any personal issues you have been having. The only thing you have to be careful of is your spending. For Gemini natives, Jupiter rules your 7th and 10th house, which are Kendra houses, and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 11th house, which represents gains. So this transit is an excellent transit for you guys. When Aries rules the 11th house, The individual is very open to socializing and very passionate about good causes. If they want to achieve a goal, they're looking to do this by making new friends. They need the help of others to make their dreams come true. 11th house is a Kama Siddhi house, which displays the hopes, wishes and desires of a person, and Siddhi means fulfillment. So this house represents the fulfillment of gains from your hopes, wishes and desires. The 11th house rules groups, and it represents groups that we belong to. Everything from gym memberships, political gatherings, creative organizations and our friendship network. It is anything but an individual house, as a large portion of the effects it creates in our lives are associated with other people. So when Jupiter transits this house, it will expand your circle of friendships and affiliations. Gemini natives are naturally very social and find it easy to make friends, so here you can expect to strike up new friendships very quickly. Guru Jandal Yog formed in this house means that you will be able to make friends from different backgrounds and cultures, and possibly you will be able to connect with wealthy people as well. However, because Aries rules this house, many of the new connections you make during this transit may be shallow, and the friendships may only last as long as this transit before you drift apart. So you should try and make more meaningful and deep connections. 10th Lord Jupiter transiting the 11th house means that you can make connections with people from professional fields as well. If you use LinkedIn, here you can really expand your LinkedIn network. If in your natal chart your 11th house is afflicted, here while you can make new friends, there is also a possibility that you can lose friends, because Guru Jandal Yog can cause confusion and separation. You might feel a person in your network is not worth spending time with anymore for whatever reason. So you should try and keep a good relationship with your existing connections as well. 11th house rules gains. When Jupiter transits the 11th house, your economic conditions become very strong. This is a great time to seek a pay rise with your boss or company, or a good opportunity to negotiate a higher package if you are successful in getting a new job. Guru Jandal Yog will actually help you get more wealth, because Rahu is a materialistic planet and will use Jupiter's expansiveness to get the most out of a situation. This is a great time to sell something such as a car or something that is in the house that you don't really need. 7th Lord Jupiter in the 11th house is also a great time to make money through business partnerships, side hustles, or your 9-to-5 profession. Since Rahu is an energy that is never satisfied, this is a great time to also look for new sources of income. So if you are just doing a 9-to-5, you can actually look into something that you can do on the side, and you will be able to earn money from it. But since Rahu does not give stability, the side hustle could be something that is only short term. My advice is always think long term, but if there is money to be made in the short term, then obviously you should go for it. This is also a period where you can get sudden gains, and if you are in the middle of a divorce, then this is a period where you can get a good financial settlement, because Saturn is also in the 9th house. Overall, this is a very lucky period to earn money. The 11th house rules ambitions and wishes. So when the 10th Lord Jupiter transits the 11th house, that means that you will feel like you are starting to get the rewards in your career, at least for the time being. In addition to an increase in salary, here you can also get a new title, such as a manager or a director, which can be very fulfilling if you are driven. If you don't have a job, you will be able to find a job during this transit. And if you already have a job, you'll be able to get a new job if that is something you are after. Jupiter will be aspecting the 3rd house, 7th house and transiting the 11th house. So here all of the Gama Trikona houses are being activated. Gama Trikona houses reflect our desire, love, purpose, intention and passion. So here, if you are single, this will be a period where you can come across someone. The person you come across could well be well educated and also be well traveled, and could be someone who has had many different experiences in life, as long as this is supported in your natal chart. If you are female, then the guy you come across could also be much older than you. If you are already in a relationship, then this is a period where you can also get married. Now, if you are already married and settled in life, then this will be a period where your spouse will bring prosperity and lots of gains to the marriage, which will obviously benefit you as well. If you are a student, then this is also a good time for you. The 9th lord is in the 9th house, and the Karaka of higher education Jupiter is also transiting a good house. Rahu is a very intelligent energy, so here you will be able to make really good progress in your studies through group learning. So if you are an independent learner, try to join some group study sessions because it may well benefit you. If in your natal chart your 9th house is severely afflicted, then Guru Jandal Yog at most may cause issues in your studies up until July. Otherwise, it's generally a positive period for learning as well. Jupiter's 7th aspect on the 5th house means that your relationship with your children will see an improvement. If you have been trying to have kids, then this will be a time for celebration. This is a great period for investments, stocks, and forming new love interests. Overall, this is a really good transit. The Guru Jandal Yog will be least malefic for Gemini natives, but you do need to be cautious because this transit is just for 1 year before Jupiter transits your 12th house. So try to make the most of this transit and make decisions which are stable in the longer run, because otherwise whatever you gain in this period, there is a chance that you will end up losing that in the next Jupiter transit. For Cancer natives, Jupiter is ruling your 6th house and 9th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 10th house. Now, Jupiter is a benefic planet for Cancer natives. However, the 10th house is a debilitated position for Jupiter, but it can still give very positive results. When Aries rules the 10th house, it means that these people are very focused on their professional objectives and are very motivated to succeed. They are always after new beginnings and opportunities and quick to make a good first impression. The 10th house rules everything that is associated with one's profession. It rules your contribution to society and is the peak of the mountain. It is the house of our status that we have attained in our social work or career, or in society as a whole. The 10th house shows any promotions we receive and any fame we acquire. So when Jupiter transits this house, you will feel the desire of growth and expansion influencing your career, vocation, sense of responsibility, and the structure of your life. This is a time where your career status can rise. Now, because Rahu is here as well, and the 10th house is a really good position for Rahu because it is a materialistic planet and can provide a person with fame, strong will, and immense wealth, which is what Rahu likes. So Rahu can use Jupiter's expansive energy to really elevate your status and career and get what you really want. There are no limits. So with this combination, you can really rise from a low level position to a high level one. So what that means is this will be a period where many of you will be able to get a position or a job which you really want. Because Jupiter is also ruling your 9th house, and Rahu represents foreign things, and the sign of Aries represents movement, some of you will be traveling abroad for work during this period. Saturn is also in the 8th house, which can also denote a period of traveling. If you don't travel abroad for work, regardless, there will be a job change or career change. If you are looking for a promotion, you may not get promoted in the current team where you are working. You may have to change teams or change companies you work for in order to get your desired position. This can also be a period where you can change not just your job, but your complete vocation or career. So for example, if you are an accountant, you might decide to become a teacher. And don't forget, Saturn, the significator of career, is in the 8th house of transformation. So here your career can go through a complete 180. Now, depending on your natal chart and dasha, you do have to be a little bit careful because Rahu can cause confusion. So what could also happen here is you might quit a secure job for what appears to be a better opportunity, but you may regret changing in the longer run. So there could be multiple job changes during this Jupiter transit. While Guru Chandal Yoga in the 10th is a good placement, you just have to be mindful that you may end up having to change your job a couple of times, especially since Saturn is in the 8th house. So we have to take that into account. But Jupiter's 5th aspect is on the 2nd house and 9th aspect is on the 6th house. So what that means is even though you end up changing jobs a couple of times as a worst case scenario, you will still be able to grow your finances and you will remain busy. When Jupiter influences the 6th house, it can increase your workload in terms of having to provide service to colleagues. So for example, if you are someone who works with stakeholders, then your stakeholders can increase. If you are in business, then your clients or customers can also increase and therefore also generating good profit. 10th house is also the house of reputation and recognition. So if you are someone who is already at the top of your career, or if you are seeking to be in the limelight, so for example, if you are a fellow YouTuber, or you make TikTok videos, or you are a CEO of a company, Guru Chandal Yoga can really help to enhance your public image and reputation. But as always with Rahu, you do have to be careful not to have your public image highlighted in a negative way. So all that means is make sure you don't do anything which can be questionable or which can bite you in the back, because Rahu can also cause demotion. If you are someone who is in the sporting industry, here you can get honors, awards and trophies. Ketu, the south node of the moon, has been transiting the 4th house for the past 12 months. So this could mean you may have been away from your home or birthplace or possibly abroad, which may have made you feel a little bit down, because for Cancer natives, home is very important. With Jupiter's 7th aspect on this 4th house, you will now be able to see an improvement in your living conditions, which will bring you a bit more joy and happiness. For students, Jupiter rules your 9th house and is in a Kendra house. So you will be able to get opportunities to study, or you will be able to prolong your studies. However, either side of your 9th house is surrounded by the malefic planets Rahu and Saturn. When there are malefic planets either side of a house, it can cause a little bit of stress. So here you could have some issues with teachers or gurus. Overall, this is a very good transit where you can expect positive changes in your career or a rise in your reputation, but you will have to make sure your actions are ethical or of a high moral standard. For Leo natives, Jupiter is ruling your 5th house and 8th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 9th house. Now the 9th house is a natural home for Jupiter, so he feels very comfortable here. The 9th house is the house of education and travel. It represents everything that widens our perspective, teaches us something new, and helps us move forward. It carries our life philosophy and religion, as well as matters of law and ethics. 9th house is more about seeing the bigger picture rather than all the nitty-gritty details, so this will make you less stressed over smaller things that come up on a daily basis. When Aries rules the 9th house, it means that these individuals are always ready for action and tend to be very inspiring for others. They have a lot of energy and are always up for a challenge. They don't need to think too much about what they are doing, as they have the ability to accomplish many things without overthinking. So when Jupiter transits the 9th house, it is a time the perspective of your life can be expanded tremendously. Jupiter is also aspecting the 1st house, so your attitude can be more expansive and optimistic, which can expose you to a broader world where your views on life will change. Jupiter is ruling your 8th house of transformation, so here there will be changes in your belief system, either religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, or intellectual beliefs. Now because Rahu, which is the rule breaker, is here with Jupiter forming a Guru Jandal Yog, here Guru Jandal Yog can make you do something which is against your belief system. This can be a period when you do something voluntarily or you get tricked into doing something which is against your traditional belief system. Guru Jandal Yog can make you break your belief system because Rahu can cause some kind of confusion or deception. Here we could also see someone who has been an atheist all their life starting to take an interest in a particular religion. If you are already following a religion, Guru Jandal Yog can make you explore outside religions as well, because Aries is the sign which represents exploring new things, or you might end up doing things that are against your religion or your belief system. Jupiter transit into the 9th house means that furthering your education in any capacity is possible. Because Jupiter is also ruling your 5th house of knowledge, this transit can expand your knowledge and learning capability, particularly after October. If you are looking to become a new student, then Guru Jandal Yog can cause some confusion or obstacle in selecting or starting a course. Guru Jandal Yog here can make you select the wrong course, so what can happen is you may end up changing your major during this transit. If you are already a student, Guru Jandal Yog can cause some kind of inconvenience. Now the inconvenience may be so subtle that you may not even notice, especially if there is no affliction in your natal chart and you are going through a good dasha. But some of the things that could happen is that there could be a disruption in your studies. You might have to take some time off for whatever reason, or there could be a change of teacher, so you might have trouble following the lessons. It could be something as small as the right materials not being available in the library. So you just have to be a little bit mindful. However, after Rahu transits out of your 9th house, this will be a much better period for new students and existing students. If you have to sit professional exams, then it's best not to book any exams between April and July. Guru Jandal Yog can also make you travel abroad for studies, as well as, since Jupiter rules the 8th house, it means that you may have to make some major changes in your life in order to pursue or continue your higher education. Fifth Lord Jupiter in the 9th house means that if you are single, then you can come across a person either in your travels, or you could be going on holiday, or you might be going abroad to study and you can come across someone. Saturn is in the 7th house and in good dignity, which means that the person you come across can be mature in age or mindset. Saturn in the 7th means that any relationship that you form will have to be practical and have a long-term intent, otherwise it will just be a short-term connection. If you are already in a relationship or married, then this could be a period where you can be more romantic. You could travel together somewhere exotic or around the world, which will broaden your mindset and develop new belief systems. Fifth Lord Jupiter transiting the 9th house also means that you will be inclined to take things related to the 5th house to a higher level. So I've already mentioned there is a possibility of higher education. And the other thing that could happen is that you may develop your creative talents, hobbies or skills. Jupiter is also aspecting your 1st house and 3rd house. So not only will you have the optimism, you will also have the energy and courage to really expand on anything you put your mind to. The 5th house also represents the stock market, and its Lord Jupiter is in the 9th house, can increase your prosperity. Rahu is also a materialistic planet, so here you can get sudden gains from the stock market or investments. You might have a stock which skyrockets in value. 5th house represents children, so this is a great time to have children, but because Rahu is with Jupiter, Guru Chandal Yoga can cause unplanned pregnancy or cause minor issues in the short term if there is any affliction to your 5th house in your natal chart. However, if you are looking to adopt children, then Guru Chandal Yoga can give you a child because Rahu represents adoption. The 9th house also represents your father, and Jupiter is also ruling your 8th house, which is the Dusthana house, and can represent surgeries and chronic diseases. Guru Chandal Yoga here can cause issues in the relationship with your father due to misunderstandings, or your father will have to take care of his health while Guru Chandal Yoga is formed. The 9th house also represents bosses and leaders, so you have to be careful in your work environment with seniors. Saturn is also aspecting this house, so this will be a period where you have to work on your relationship with your seniors. Jupiter's aspect on the 1st house means if you are suffering any health issues, you will see an improvement. Overall, this transit will have a very powerful and maturing influence on you, and you will become wiser, learnt and more knowledgeable, particularly after October 23. Between April to July, you have to take a bit more care. Guru Chandal Yoga may exert minor or major influence depending on your natal chart and dasha. You have to be careful not to do anything unethical or immoral and not to break any rules. For Virgo natives, Jupiter rules your 4th house and 7th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 8th house. So Jupiter is ruling 2 Kendra houses, but will be transiting a Dusthana house. So what that means is that Virgo natives can experience some big changes in relation to the 4th house and 7th house. So when Aries rules the 8th house, it means that change comes naturally to these natives. The 8th house is a mysterious sector that rules birth, death, sex, transformation, mysteries and bonding at the deepest level. The 8th house also rules other people's property and money, such as real estate, inheritance, investments, but also joint assets that you have with your partner. So firstly, a positive result Virgo natives can get is that when Jupiter transits this house, the desire for growth and expansion influences your joint assets. Since Jupiter is also aspecting your 2nd house, Here you can really benefit in some way from other people's money. So for example, some of you would have gotten married in the past 12 months or advanced your relationship to the next level. So here you will be able to benefit from your partner's resources if you are going through a good dasha and if your 7th house is not afflicted. Rahu's energy in the 8th house is also supportive in terms of joint wealth because Rahu is a materialistic planet. So Guru Chandal Yoga in the 8th house is very positive for joint resources and gaining inheritance. Now, if you are not going through a good dasha and you have afflictions to your 7th house, then this Guru Chandal Yoga in the 8th house can cause issues in your married life or relationships. Jupiter is a malefic planet for Virgo natives, and ruling the 7th house and transiting the 8th house in conjunction with Rahu is not very beneficial for married life and relationships. In addition, there is a Pap Katri Yoga of the 7th house, which means that there are two naturally malefic planets, Saturn and Rahu, either side of the 7th house. Pap Katri means cut, which means that you have to pay back or give back for your past sins or karma. So for those who have an affliction to the 7th house in your natal chart, you could suffer some kind of separation. Now this could just simply mean that your partner has to go abroad for work or something like that. So it could well just be temporary. If you do go through any issues with your marriage or relationship, then if you can work through them, the next Jupiter transit in May 2024 will be better for your relationship or marriage. Now, if you are single, then this can be a tough time to get into a relationship, but you could still encounter someone through your work or suddenly through travels. However, it could be difficult to maintain an ongoing relationship for this 1 year. If you are going through the dasha of Mars or the Sun, then Guru Chandal Yoga in the 8th house can also mean your spouse may encounter health issues which may require surgeries. Jupiter is ruling your 4th house, and its transit in the 8th house also means that you need to take care of your health and your mother's health as well. Since the 8th house is ruled by Aries, which represents the head, and Jupiter also rules your 4th house, which represents the chest, you have to try to take care of these areas. So my advice would be to take extra care whilst driving and playing sport. Jupiter is also aspecting your 12th house, and 12th house represents expenses and hospitalizations. So this could also show that you could have medical related expenses. But we don't always have to see this in a negative way, as having any necessary procedures or surgeries done to correct any minor or major issues so that you can get back to 100% is always a good thing. Jupiter is ruling and aspecting your 4th house, and transiting the 8th house means that you could experience powerful but fortunate changes in your home environment, especially after October. Here you can change your residence, perhaps you might be going abroad. Any sweeping changes that happen now will be for the best and will make your life richer and more rewarding in the longer run. 8th house also represents occult things such as astrology and other hidden areas. So Guru Chandal Yoga can really expand your knowledge of these subjects. So if you are someone who does astrology as well, tarot, palmistry, or any areas related to life, death, or transformation, then this is an excellent period for researching and increasing your knowledge throughout the whole transit. Although Jupiter does not rule your 9th house, it is the Karka of the 9th house, and when it transits the 8th house forming a Guru Chandal Yoga, you have to be careful not to break any rules or laws. For students, Jupiter in the 8th house means that you might have to go through transformation in order to seek higher knowledge. This can mean travelling abroad to study or attending evening classes, or this can show temporary withdrawal from learning. 5th Lord Saturn in the 6th house confirms that it won't be the most ideal period for higher education or increasing your knowledge, except for in occult areas. Overall, this is a period where you can expect major activity in your home and relationship, and a period where you must act in accordance with rules or standards. For Libra natives, Jupiter rules your 3rd house and 6th house, and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 7th house. So for you guys, Jupiter is influencing all the Karma Trikona houses. So Jupiter will be expanding the 3rd house, 7th house and 11th house, which are houses of desire and the possibility to fulfill them. The 7th house in a natal chart represents our most significant one-to-one relationships. This includes our spouse or romantic partner, as well as any close business partnerships. It also represents contracts that we sign. When Aries rules the 7th house, it means that the area of relationships is where these people like to take the initiative and be assertive. Now this can sound domineering, and whilst they like to take the lead, Libra people are generally very fair and diplomatic, and Aries ruling the 7th house can show that they can be very good at motivating their partner in making his or her dreams come true. So when Jupiter enters the 7th house, it is a period which favors the formation and maintenance of all kinds of partnerships and relationships. So firstly, if you are single, then this is a period where you can come across a person. However, you do have to be a little bit careful. Since Guru Jandal Yoga is being formed here, the person you come across can be unconventional, which means that they can be from a different background or religion, or they might have had an unusual or extraordinary upbringing. Now this type of relationship can last if your natal chart supports this. If your natal chart does not support this kind of relationship, but you meet someone between the months of April and October, then the relationship may not last. Guru Jandal Yoga can also cause you to have multiple relationships between the months of April and October. So if you met someone in March or April, and if your natal chart does not support this kind of person, then the relationship will break before October. If you are a more traditional person and more selective in the type of relationship you want to be in, then Guru Jandal Yoga in the 7th house can cause difficulty in trying to create a relationship with the right person. So therefore, it would be better for you guys to find someone after Rahu moves out from the 7th house in October. Since Jupiter rules the 3rd house of effort, this means you do need to put effort into trying to find a partner. You can't just sit back and wait, because Saturn's 3rd aspect is on the 7th house. So you have to put the time and money into dating in order to find someone. 3rd house lord and 6th house lord Jupiter transiting the 7th house can also mean you come across a person through your work or your hobbies. For those that are already in a relationship and are looking to get engaged or married this year, Guru Jandal Yoga can show an unconventional or non-traditional ceremony. For those that are after a more traditional ceremony, it would be better to arrange a date for marriage or engagement after October. Jupiter is ruling your 6th house, which is the house of obstacles, and when it transits the 7th house along with Rahu, it does have the power to cause either minor issues or obstacles which can cause inconvenience on or before the big day of marriage. For those that are already married or in a committed relationship, Jupiter's transit here can help improve your marriage. So for example, if you have been having marriage problems, then this is a good time to go and see a marriage counselor. Jupiter ruling the 6th house and transiting the 7th house isn't necessarily bad, and can indicate that you will be working on your marriage, or you will be simply spending more time with your spouse. In terms of business partnerships, If you are thinking about going into business with someone between the months of April and October, you do have to be a little bit careful and make sure you understand everything that you are getting yourself into, because Guru Jandal Yog can also show you could be tricked into signing something. So you need to be careful in terms of signing any documents or contracts. If you are already in an established business partnership with someone, then between the months of April and October, there could be minor or major conflicts regarding the business, because Rahu simply does not allow things to flow smoothly. If you are self-employed and if your dasha is good, then this could be a period where you can invent new ideas and create growth. Jupiter is aspecting the 11th house, and Rahu is a materialistic planet, so your gains can be very good. In terms of your career and jobs, Jupiter is aspecting your 11th house, so you can expect to receive an increment in your salary, or if you don't have a job, you will be able to get a job from April. 7th house is also the house of popularity, and 3rd Lord Jupiter transiting the 7th house means that your communication can have an impact on other people. So if you are someone who is on YouTube or TikTok or any social media page, with Guru Jandal Yog, you can experience great growth in your followers, especially if your dasha is good. Now, in terms of health, Jupiter is ruling the 6th house, which represents health and wellness. So when it transits the 7th house with Rahu, it does have the energy to cause some issues depending on your dasha. If you are going through the dasha of the 6th, 8th or 12th house, you need to be careful of your lower abdomen or lower half of your back. This is also a period where your spouse has to take care of their health too. For students that are looking to pursue higher education, Jupiter in the 7th house is 11 houses away from the 9th house. So this means gains of the 9th house significations, such as getting accepted into a college or graduating, or you could travel this year or have gains through your father. Jupiter's aspect on the 3rd house and the 11th house means that this will be a period where your relationships with friends and siblings will be good. You will also be able to expand your network circle and make new friends. Aspect on the 11th house also means that it is a better period for you mentally, because your desires can be fulfilled. Ketu has been transiting in your 1st house or over your natal moon the past 12 months, which has probably made you feel unenthusiastic and low on energy to do anything. That will start to change now, as Jupiter's aspect on the 1st house will bring back some much needed optimism into your life. Overall, Jupiter is influencing all the Karma Trikona houses, which are the houses of desire and enjoyment. So generally, this can be a positive period for Libra natives. However, up until October, you need to be careful in terms of signing any documents or contracts, and try to avoid it if you can. If you come across a person, you have to be careful not to invest too many emotions into that relationship until Rahu moves out in October. For Scorpio natives, Jupiter rules your 2nd house and 5th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 6th house. So for you guys, Jupiter is influencing the Artha Trikona houses, which are the 2nd, 6th and 10th, which are work and career related houses. So first of all, the 6th house rules over daily routine and uncovers what kind of work a person does, but not their career. The 6th house represents an individual's service towards others. When Aries rules the 6th house, it means that these people can be very committed to their job and can be very hardworking. They are also very determined to succeed. So when Jupiter, which is a functional benefic, transits the 6th house, it means that you can make progress in your work and career. If you are someone who is looking for a promotion or looking to advance in your professional life, then this is the period where you will be able to climb the ladder into a higher position. Guru Jandal Yog in the 6th house is positive, and you will be able to find openings to succeed in your working life this year. Jupiter is also aspecting the 10th house and 2nd house, which means that the more work you put in, the higher you can elevate and make a name for yourself, whilst also increasing your income. However, Jupiter in the 6th house will make your daily work very busy, and because Aries, which is a proactive sign, is ruling this house, during this period you can be someone who is driven in their work and goes above and beyond what is necessary. If Rahu is well placed in your natal chart, then Guru Jandal Yog can bring a factor of invincibility. If you are someone who wants to change their job, then again this is a good period to apply for jobs. However, you have to be a little bit cautious if you are going through a malefic dasha period, because Guru Jandal Yog can cause some serious confusion on which job to accept if you get multiple offers. What can happen here is you may take on a new role but then regret changing, so you will have to change jobs a couple of times. So Guru Jandal Yog can cause multiple job changes, particularly also if your natal chart is weak in terms of career. If you are someone who is retired, then your daily routine can be quite busy. Jupiter represents children, so this could be a period where you spend more time with your kids or perhaps grandkids. Jupiter rules the 5th house, and when it sits in the 6th house, it means that your sense of fun is expressed through your daily work. Here, your hobbies and relaxation and creativity fit into your daily routine. So for example, if you are someone who likes fishing or playing a musical instrument or writing or playing games, then these things will become things you start doing on a daily basis. The 6th house also represents health and wellness, so when Jupiter transits this house, you will be proactive and develop positive health routines during this period. This can be a time where you start yoga classes or Pilates classes, or perhaps you might start using that gym membership you signed up for. Jupiter is a functional benefic planet, so you will try to protect your health. However, because Rahu is here, it can cause some hidden illnesses. So if you are going through the dasha of the 6th, 8th or 12th house, or you are going through the dasha of Rahu and you are over the ages of 50 or 60, then this would be a good time to have a checkup or blood test in the first few months of this transit. If you are someone who is already suffering an illness, then Guru Jandal Yog can give you relief. Jupiter is aspecting the 12th house, so you would be able to heal by getting the appropriate care. For the rest of you, the 6th house represents digestion and kidneys. So with Guru Jandal Yog, you have to take care with the food you put into your body. Try to limit any fatty or sweet foods, because this can be a period where you over-enjoy your food you consume, which can make you gain weight. Now, the only challenging area of your life will be with regards to children. If you are trying to have a child, then you may run into issues depending on your dasha and natal chart. fifth Lord Jupiter in the 6th house, which represents obstacles, conjunct with Rahu, which is a mischievous energy, can make the period unsmooth. Jupiter, however, is in a good sign, so this can be a period where you may have to go through extra tests and checkups in order to fall pregnant or conceive. During this period, you should try to minimize any potential risks by eating healthy, and if you are already pregnant, avoid any strenuous activities. Rahu's energy here can also mean you have to go through alternative avenues to have kids, from adoption to surrogacy to IVF treatment. Rahu will move into your 5th house from November, so for any alternative avenue you explore, it will prolong for a couple of years. The other thing you need to note is Saturn is in the 4th house and Rahu is in the 6th house, moving towards the 5th house. So between April and October, there will be a Bap Gatri Yog where the 5th house will be between two malefic planets, Saturn and Rahu. Bap Gatri means that it can be a period where you have to pay back some karma related to the 5th house between the months of April and October. If you already have kids, then this can also be a period where they take up more of your time, either due to health and wellness issues, or for whatever reason you will be forced to give more attention to your children. Jupiter also rules your 2nd house and is aspecting the 2nd house. So when it transits your 6th house, it means that this is a period where you are required to earn money through providing service. So for most of you that will be through employment, which is fine. However, for those few that primarily live off returns of investment or bank interest, this is a period where your assets or investments may not grow as much. Jupiter's 9th aspect on the 2nd house means that you will have to learn something new or do something new in order for your 2nd house to grow. For those that are single, 5th house, which represents romances, and its Lord Jupiter in the 6th house, means that you can come across a person through your work or gym or any health and wellness classes. Overall, this is a period of great satisfaction in regards to work. Despite Saturn being in your 4th house, Jupiter's transit here will keep you physically busy. The only thing you have to take care of is in relation to children. For Sagittarius natives, Jupiter rules your 1st and 4th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 5th house. So for you guys, Jupiter rules 2 Gendra houses and is transiting a Trikona house. Gendra houses are the building blocks of our personality and are the houses of action, while the Trikona houses are the houses of reward. The 5th house rules one's own path towards fulfillment. The 5th house is about how an individual has fun, which can incorporate all types of games and hobbies, recreational diversions, creativities, and pastimes. When Aries rules the 5th house, it means that these people are very passionate when it comes to pursuing creative endeavors. So when Jupiter transits this house, you will be having a great time in your life. Saturn is also in a good house, so you will be doing many things you enjoy and love, and you can also discover new activities or hidden talents. Jupiter's aspect on the 9th house means your luck will increase. Jupiter's aspect on the 11th house means you will feel some level of fulfillment during this period. And the aspect on the 1st house means that your personality will grow. However, because Rahu will be conjunct with Jupiter, forming a Guru Jandal Yog, you won't be satisfied. You could do so many things, but Rahu will make you feel it is not enough. So it's very important to know your limits of having fun. If you are a creative person, then during this phase you can see your creativity soar. So this transit will be excellent for all the artistic people. You could be a painter, a singer, a writer, make videos or play sports. Whatever creative action you are into, you will be inspired to create your best work. This is a period where your recognition can grow if you are working in any of the creative fields. If you are into investments, then any speculative matters could earn you good profits. Jupiter is aspecting the 11th house, so your existing stocks, bonds, or whatever your existing investments are, they will start to grow and you will be able to cash them in. However, because Rahu will be conjunct with Jupiter, you have to be careful with anything new you decide to invest in, especially during the months of May, June, July, because the Lord of the 5th house, Mars, will be debilitated and Rahu and Jupiter will be advancing towards each other and therefore in close conjunction, which means that you may invest in something where you feel there could be quick gains without doing proper research. For those people who are single, love and romance can enter your life during this phase. However, the person who enters your life may not be long-term partnership material. Guru Jandal Yog in the 5th house can mean either you will meet or date many people, but you will not be satisfied with these people. Rahu is an energy that is never satisfied, so you have to be realistic about the people you date. Here you could date 2, 3, 4 or more people, but it won't be until September or October where you can be stable with one person. Guru Jandal Yog in the 5th house can also make you connect with someone from a different background, but for whatever reason, if a foreign person is not supported in your natal chart, then the relationship could break before October. If you are already in a relationship, then again you have to be careful, because Guru Jandal Yog can cause break in a relationship, either because of dissatisfaction or external factors. For those looking to have kids, then pregnancy or childbirth can occur during this phase, so it is a good time to have children. However, if your due date is in April, May or June, you will have to be a little bit careful, because during these months Jupiter and Rahu will be at a close conjunction and Mars, the ruler of the 5th house, will be debilitated. So during these months you could experience some minor setbacks depending on your dasha and natal chart. So for example, you could give birth under a caesarean section. If your due date is April, May, June and you don't have any affliction to your 5th house in your natal chart, then there is a higher chance of a birth of a girl. If you are waiting for a child through adoption, then between the months of April to October, you will be able to adopt a child. If you are a student, then this is a wonderful period to expand your knowledge and you will do very well in your higher education. Guru Jandal Yog can give a thirst for knowledge. Saturn's 7th aspect is on your 9th house and may have created some hurdles in your higher education. But now that Jupiter will also aspect the 9th house, everything will become smooth. Jupiter in the 5th house conjunct with Rahu means there could be some sudden changes in your work initiated by you. This could be a complete change of profession, or you might go and work in a different sector, or you might start a business or side hustle of some sort. In terms of work, Jupiter's aspect on the 11th house means you will be able to get a pay rise in your work, and if you do contract or temporary work, your flow of income will be good for the whole period. First Lord Jupiter in the 5th house means that your ego and confidence will grow during this period. However, because of the Guru Jandal Yog, you have to be careful not to do things that are harmful and not to hurt people around you, especially when it comes to emotional life. Jupiter is a great benefic, and when it is conjunct with Rahu, it will lose its benevolent nature. Jupiter rules your 4th house, and when it transits the 5th house, it means that you can get some reward of the 4th house. Here, there are good chances for you to buy a property or a new vehicle or some kind of asset. Overall, for Sagittarius natives, this is an extremely positive transit for creative expression. Guru Jandal Yog will help you grow, but you have to be careful in relationships and meeting people up until October. For Capricorn natives, Jupiter rules your 3rd and 12th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 4th house. Now, the 4th house is a good house for Jupiter since it is exalted in Cancer, which is the natural 4th house. However, for Capricorn natives, Jupiter is a functional malefic planet, so therefore it will give mixed results during this transit. The 4th house determines your emotional stability and comfort level. It rules your mother and residence and your home country. When Aries rules the 4th house, it means that these people will express their emotions freely in the home environment rather than outside. These people can have a fiery temperament in the house and are attuned to everything that concerns the home life. So when 12th Lord Jupiter enters the 4th house and becomes conjunct with Rahu, Guru Jandal Yoga is formed. What can happen here is Rahu will use Jupiter's expansion capability to create changes in all 4th house matters. Guru Jandal Yoga could disturb the mental peace in your mind and affect your personality. It can also bring changes in your home and residence, or mentally it can confuse you into buying things which may not be that useful in the longer run. So firstly, in terms of your innermost life, when Jupiter transits the 4th house, it is a period where you are seeking inner peace and security. Since Jupiter rules the 12th house, which represents isolation, this could be a period where you prefer being in solitude. You'll feel like you need your privacy and alone time at home for whatever reason. Saturn is in the 2nd house, which may be creating a difficult time in family matters. So Jupiter's transit here will help you seek your own mental peace. On the external level, since Jupiter rules the 12th house of expenses, here many of you will be either purchasing real estate or a new home during this period. Saturn's transit in the 2nd house also supports this result, since the 2nd house also represents assets. So if you are in your 20s or 30s or in a relationship or marriage and desperate to move out of your wider family home, then this is a period where you will be able to move out. However, if you are looking to buy between April and October, you have to be careful because Guru Jandal Yoga can create unnecessary obstacles, delays and trouble. This can also be a period where you can suffer some deception, where an agent can trick you into buying something or signing for something where there could be issues in the home, such as unapproved structures or something like that. If you are moving out and renting, you should also have a thorough inspection. Saturn will be aspecting the 4th house, which means that moving will require lots of effort. After October, when Rahu moves out, it will be a better period. Even though Jupiter is a functional malefic, Jupiter's transit in the 4th house means that you will find peace at some stage during this transit. Guru Jandal Yoga in the 4th house can also show an excellent time to move abroad. Rahu wants to use Jupiter's energy to cause changes. In modern society, moving abroad is looked upon as a favourable event, so here some of you could definitely move abroad. Jupiter is also aspecting your 8th and 12th house, which almost guarantees there is a move of some sort for most Capricorn natives. Now, if you don't experience any move, then you could initiate some changes in your current residence. You might decide to build a shed or extend your home or make some changes where you live. Guru Chandal Yog in the 4th house also means you have to be careful with your purchases. I already talked about property, but you also have to take care when purchasing other comforts and conveniences, such as vehicles, especially between the months of April and October. So if you buy a car, make sure you check everything, especially if you're buying second-hand. After October, it's a much better period to buy comforts and conveniences. The 4th house also represents family, and in particular represents mother, but can also represent parents. Jupiter ruling the 12th house, which is associated with hospitals and nursing homes, means this could be a period where your parents or mother may have to visit these places. This is also a period where you need to take care of your own health, especially the chest area. Jupiter's aspect on the 10th house will see you progress in your career. Here you can experience a job change or promotion, but your income will remain steady since Saturn is aspecting the 11th house, which is limiting the income growth. If you are a student, then Guru Chandal Yog is 8th from the 9th house and 12th from the 5th house, which means that this is an average period for students or those in higher education. Overall, this is a period you can experience changes in your home and a period where you will be seeking mental peace. For Aquarius natives, Jupiter rules the 2nd and 11th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your 3rd house. Jupiter is ruling both your money houses, so in this transit many of you will see positive changes in your income. 3rd house represents your subconscious mind and intellect. It reveals how you approach and analyze problems and how you perceive information. It drives your overall learning and communicative processes. 3rd house also rules short distance travel and younger siblings. When Aries rules this house, it means that these people's minds can be very restless. These people can be aggressive and feisty, especially with younger siblings and neighbors, making them prone for disputes. These people are also inspired to take action, and everything they are doing is often truer than their actual thoughts and what they're verbally expressing. So when Jupiter enters the 3rd house, the desire for growth and expansion influences how you think and communicate your ideas. Saturn's transit over the natal moon means you might have started to feel a little bit emotional or worried with how life is going. But the good news is Saturn will help your mind become more optimistic and you'll be more inclined to positive thinking. 3rd house represents energy, effort and courage. So Guru Chandal Yog will make you more driven, ambitious and resourceful. You will have a strong desire to succeed. However, if you are going through a difficult dasha, Guru Chandal Yog can make you waste your energy. While Rahu does like taking shortcuts, Rahu can cause confusions where you may put a lot of work into something which is no use. Saturn is aspecting your 3rd house and is requiring you to work hard and put more effort in, and you will be able to do so. If your dasha is good, Guru Chandal Yog in the 3rd house will make you very clever in terms of communicating or expressing yourself to benefit you. So this transit will benefit someone who is in the sales profession or someone who is self-employed and looking for clients. You will be able to use the correct words to entice people to buy your goods or make use of your services. In relation to siblings, Guru Chandal Yog means there will be more interaction with siblings. However, this could also lead to more stress due to potential misunderstandings. something can happen to turn the relationship sour. Saturn is also aspecting your third house, so there may be challenges when communicating with them. Guru Jandal Yog in the third and Jupiter's aspect on the ninth house can make a person more curious and can signify lots of travel during this period. Guru Jandal Yog in the third house is 11th from the fifth house, so here you can expect a birth of a child. Because of Rahu's presence and Saturn in the first house, you could however experience hurdles in childbirth depending on your dasha and natal chart. This can also show a child born out of wedlock, which is more common in today's society. Jupiter rules the 2nd and 11th house, which are both money houses. 11th Lord in the third house shows that you will be making money through business or self-efforts. So if you are self-employed, this is a good time for your work. This is also a good time to start a business. So if you've been thinking about turning self-employed, you can now do so. However, Saturn is in the first house, so you have to be mindful that things can be slow to start off with. With regards to other type of employment, Jupiter is aspecting the 11th house, which means that your salary will be good this year and you can expect a pay rise. If you don't have a job, you will be able to get a job, and if you are employed on a casual or temporary basis, you will be able to receive a good amount of hours as the period is showing good earnings this year. If you are single, Jupiter's 5th aspect on the 7th house shows you will be able to come across a person, either through friends, siblings, or through dating apps and websites. If you are already in a relationship, you will be able to get married during this transit, and if you are already married, then your marriage will be good this year. Jupiter is aspecting the 9th house. So if you are a student, this is a favorable time to study and your connection with your teachers will be good. With regards to health, while your energy levels will be good during this transit, you have to take care of your second house. The second house is hemmed between Rahu and Saturn, so you could develop issues in relation to eyes, ears, nose or mouth. Overall, this is a good period all round. The Guru Jandal Yoga won't affect you negatively as much in your third house, and hopefully in fact can aid you while you make your way bravely through the peak phase of Saraswati. For Pisces natives, Jupiter rules your first house and 10th house and will be transiting the sign of Aries, which is your second house. Jupiter is a functional benefic for you guys and will be influencing all the Eartha Trikona houses, which are the 2nd, 6th and 10th house. So the main theme of this Jupiter transit is around your work and career, and also family and responsibility. Saturn is in the 12th house, so for many of you there will be growth or changes in your career. You could well go to a different city or perhaps travel abroad in relation to work. So the second house represents the things that are of value to us. Obviously, money is the first thing that comes to mind, but this house not only speaks to our material possessions, it speaks of our basic human needs and personal resources we have at our disposal. Jupiter's transit here can also grow your non-financial values. If your values are more spiritual, involving ideas, a standard of justice, or whatever they are, you can increase this dimension of your life. When Jupiter transits the second house forming Guru Jandal Yoga, it means that you will be making money and gaining wealth during this period. Rahu is a materialistic planet and will absolutely support you to become more prosperous. Saturn is, however, aspecting the second house, so you have to work harder to build your income. While you will be making money, Jupiter also rules the 10th house, which is the house of responsibility, and being placed in the second house means you will be forced to be more responsible with your money. However, since Jupiter will be conjunct Rahu, it means that while you will earn money, you will also spend money on unnecessary things because of Rahu's influence. Rahu can cause you to be irresponsible. So for the first 6 months of this transit, you will kind of be breaking even, where you are building wealth but also spending very often, especially since 11th Lord Saturn is in the 12th house. After October, once Rahu moves to the first house, it is a better period for building savings. While Jupiter can increase your wealth during this period, its aspect on the 6th house means that you will be busy in your work. You could have more responsibilities, or you may be required to work more hours, but at the same time, its aspect on the 10th house means that the more work you do, the greater appreciation and reward you will earn. 1st and 10th Lord Jupiter in the second house means that there is some focus on your family during this period. There could be family responsibilities where you have to support your parents or other close family members. Guru Jandal Yog in the second house can also mean a sudden increase in a family member. Guru Jandal Yog in the second house is 8th from the 7th house. So when a planet transits 8th from a house, there can be sudden positive or negative changes to the house. Jupiter is a functional benefic planet for Pisces natives, so you can experience sudden positive changes in your relationship if your dasha is good. Remember, the second house represents family, and when Jupiter transits this house, it can increase family members, which means that this can be a period where you can get married or have a child. Guru Jandal Yog in the second house is 11th from the 4th house, which means gain of the 4th house. So here you can also purchase a property or vehicle or any conveniences, since the second house is the house of material assets and possessions. Guru Jandal Yog in the second house means that your speech can be very powerful and influential, which means that if your work involves sales, you can do really well making a sales presentation or a pitch to persuade clients to purchase something. Here you can really exaggerate yourself, so it's a great time to sit for an interview, request a pay rise, or give a speech. Jupiter's aspect on the 6th and 8th house, while Saturn is in the 12th house in its Mool Trikona sign, means that this is a good period for health. So if you have any health issues, or maybe you need some surgery which you have been putting off, then this is a perfect time to heal any ailments. Overall, this is a positive time to make changes in your career, and with changes you can experience financial rewards, but you will have to be more responsible with your money, especially during the first 6 months of this transit. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer them. Until then, I will see you next time. Thank you.